We're live, Judge.
Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to County Court at Law number 6 and the Bexar County Veterans Treatment Court via remote Zoom hearings. Today we have basically 3 motions to revoke probation set. On all hearings representing the state will be Mr. Nicholas Maru. Representing the Bexar County CSCD will be Ms. Susan Gross, who I will swear at this time. Ms. Gross, please raise your right hand. Do you swear the testimony you are about to give to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, sir, I do.
Thank you. The first case we have to take up is kind of a rehearing. Cause number 6011003, style of State of Texas versus Daniel Isaiah Castellanos. Mr. Castellanos pled true to one of the allegations on the Second Amendment motion to revoke community supervision back on January 4th, 2021. If my recollection is correct,
I went in 19. I went in 19 off my birthday.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're not being spoken to by me, please turn your microphone off. We're getting a lot of background noise for some reason. Thank you. Okay.
Paul, that's you.
Say again?
I'm just saying, Paul, that's you.
Got it.
Okay. Once again, on cause number 6011003, style of State of Texas versus Daniel Isaiah Castellanos, we had the initial motion to revoke community supervision hearing on January 4th, 2021, represented by Mr. Paul Vasquez. Mr. Vasquez, correct me if I'm wrong, but at that time, I gave Mr. Castellanos the option of either volunteering to go to the substance abuse treatment facility for inpatient drug alcohol rehabilitation or being revoked. And at that time, he chose to attend the inpatient rehabilitation program. However, since that time, January 4th, 2021, he's been incarcerated, and apparently there's no word on the horizon from the probation department as to when he will actually be able to go to the facility. Is that your understanding?
Am I unmuted?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, Judge, that is correct. And what Daniel has heard in the jail from inmates who are still currently waiting to be transferred is they've been waiting anywhere from 6 to 9 months before they get sent away. And so this is, he had asked that I set this again just so we can revoke him and him.
Okay. So in my understanding, it's the defense request to go back and have another punishment hearing based on the fact that even though Mr. Castellanos was a good scout and did volunteer for inpatient rehabilitation, the time constraints imposed by the probation department are just not fair. Would that be accurate?
That is correct, Judge.
Okay. State, do you have any objection?
No, Judge.
Okay. Well, this is cause 6011003. Mr. Castellanos, I'm going to ask you to identify a document titled Defendant's Consent to MTR Hearings by Video Conference, which you are for the January 4th, 2021 hearing. And it's my understanding you filled out a second one for today. Is that correct, sir?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
Yeah. Is this your signature on this document this time, sir? Mr. Castellanos, is this your signature on the document?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Vasquez, as attorney for Mr. Castellanos, I assume this is your signature on this document?
It is, Judge.
Okay. And I believe there's a second document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal.
I am not. I'm taking classes.
All right. The trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal is marked as a revocation of the defendant's community supervision, and the defendant has a right to appeal the court's actions revoking the community supervision but not the underlying conviction. Is this your signature on this document, Mr. Castellanos?
Okay,
yes, it is, Your Honor.
Thank you. And once again, Mr. Vasquez, as attorney for Mr. Castellanos, is this your signature on this document?
It is.
Okay. I don't know what we pled true to last time. Would you mind entering a second plea on probably the same one you would have entered the last time, if I were guessing?
Yes, yes, Judge.
And what would that plea be? True to what?
I believe it was to number, I want to say number 5. Is that right, Susan?
Do you have that in your records?
Yep, I'm looking it up right now, Your Honor. He pled true to all according to my records.
Okay, with an explanation, I'm sure. So is that acceptable to the defense, Mr. Vasquez?
It is, Judge.
All right, court accepts Mr. Castellanos' plea of true to all conditions on the motion to revoke community supervision with an explanation. It's my understanding the defense is requesting that Mr. Castellanos be sentenced to a jail sentence at this time. Is that correct?
It is, Judge, and subject to the court's approval, we are asking for a 20-day sentence. That is also in cooperation with the state.
Okay, and state, what is your recommendation, please?
Revoke and sentence to 120 days in the Bear County Jail, Judge.
And Ms. Gross, does the department have a recommendation?
Yes, Your Honor, we had originally recommended revocation.
And defense, what are you requesting? You're going along with the state request, is that correct?
That is correct, Judge.
All right, bear with me for a second. I go back over the allegations in the motion to revoke and see how aggravated or not aggravated they are.
And Judge, just for the court's information, he did have a $300 fine.
And my recollection is Mr. Castellanos is a United States military veteran. Is that correct, Mr. Castellanos?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
Tell me again what you did in the military. What branch of service were you in, sir?
I was in the Marine Corps, Your Honor.
Now there's a puzzle piece that fits. That was a joke, Mr. Castellanos.
Judge, I believe he is still a reserve.
Okay, I got you. Okay, Mr. Castellanos, in cause 601003, the court once again accepts your plea of true to all conditions on the motion to revoke probation with an explanation. I grant the state's motion to revoke your community supervision. I sentence you to 120 days in the Bear County Jail. It says a $300 fine plus court costs, credit for time served, time and money to run concurrent. And you're already in jail. We don't have to report anytime soon. You're obviously going to get credit for the time you spent waiting for a SATF opening. And I commend you for that voluntary request to go to SATF, but I certainly understand your position now that it's taking forever to get in it. Anything further from the state or the defense on Mr. Castellanos?
Nothing further.
No, Judge.
We'd like Mr. Castellanos, thank you for your service, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Pat, can you put me back in the breakout room with them?
Yes, of course.
Okay, that takes care of Mr. Castellanos. Next two cases.
Excuse me, Mr. Castellanos, you can go to room 1 again.
Got it.
There you go. Okay.
Okay. Next, I have two motions. Let's see, what are they?
Excuse me, Mr. Castellanos, there you go. Thanks.
In cause number 532079, style State of Texas versus Chancuri and Jania Davis. In cause number 532080, style State of Texas versus Chancuri, Engineer Davis. Both of these are motions to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision. Correct. Let's start with cause number 532079. Actually, in both these cases, Ms. Davis, in both cause 532079 and 532080, I have two documents for each case that you purportedly signed. One is entitled Defendant's Consent to Motion to Revoke Probation Hearing by Video Conference. And there's one of those for each of these cases. Is this your signature on this document, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
And the second document for each case is entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal. And it is marked as an adjudication of guilt following a deferred adjudication, and the defendant has a limited right of appeal. Are these your signatures on each of these documents, one for each case, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
And representing Ms. Davis is Mr. Guillermo Lara. Mr. Lara, are these your signatures on two documents, one for each case, entitled Defendant's Consent to MTR Hearing by Video Conference?
Yes, Your Honor, they are.
Sir. And Mr. Lara, as attorney for Ms. Davis, is it also my understanding that it is your signature on each of the documents, one for each case, entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal?
That's correct, Judge.
Thank you, sir. Okay, for the record, representing the state once again is Mr. Nicholas Maru. Representing the Bear County CSCD is Ms. Susan Gross, who I remind is still under oath. My understanding is this is an uncontested motion, or both of these are uncontested motions to revoke probation. Is that correct, Mr. Lara?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. In cause number 532079 on the first amended motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision, how does the defendant plead?
She's going to plead true to condition number 2, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Gross, would you please advise the court and the parties what the status of Ms. Davis probation is in cause 532079, which I guess was originally a theft $100 to $750 probation case?
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Davis has had very poor reporting standards in that she missed a total of 5 months of reporting. We've not seen her since September 15th of 2017. Her case is paid in full, and I received proof of completion of community service this morning. She had 2 positive drug tests for marijuana, and she failed to show up for drug testing on 6 occasions, and she had 4 negative drug tests. At that time, we were utilizing the Palmer Drug Abuse Program. She failed to enroll in and complete that. She was to report weekly from June 20th, 2017. She neglected to report weekly. She did provide proof of employment and proof of compliance with Child Protective Services. She completed a parenting class and a TAP evaluation. This is her first violation report, her first motion to revoke. We are recommending revocation, and her criminal history includes arrests for assault, bodily injury, married, 3 criminal mischiefs, $1,500 to $20,000, a possession of marijuana, evading arrest, detention, a theft, $100 to $750, which is this case, and then also a second case, which we have an MTR on today as well, a failure to identify. Her original fine was $400.
And defense, what are you requesting?
Judge, after speaking with Ms. Davis on this case, Judge, she has made several efforts to comply with all conditions as imposed by the court. She's also provided defense with a drug test, which is a negative drug screening from Quest Diagnostics, Your Honor. She recently had a birth a few months ago, Your Honor. And again, she's been employed full-time with Allstate, and she continues to be employed full-time. She's gone through a rough patch, Your Honor, and she doesn't want to at this point make any excuses for that. She has gone through a rough patch. However, she does want this court to know that she's done everything she can to comply with conditions set before by this court, and she wants this court, if at all possible, to terminate her unsat on this case, Your Honor. She does have a family, and again, she does have full-time employment, and she's doing her best to comply and make, put this behind her and make the most of what she has right now, Your Honor.
State recommendation? Mr. Maru, you fixed it.
Judge, state was going to recommend revocation and being placed on regular probation, but she's expired, is she not?
Well, theoretically, we could revoke her deferred and she would still be eligible to stay on probation. But when she doesn't show up for 3 years, I don't have a warm, fuzzy feeling about that particular outcome.
I understand, Judge. Well, that would be state's recommendation, would be to revoke her and place her on regular probation.
Okay. Ms. Davis, the elephant in the room is why you stopped reporting it. My guess is that you had a continuing marijuana issue, and you knew every time you came in for a UA, we were going to catch you smoking marijuana, and that's why ultimately you stopped reporting. Is that accurate, or is there another excuse for that?
No, sir, that's not accurate. The last time that I spoke to my probation officer, which I believe was Yvonne Garcia, she told me that she would call me because she would have to submit a case for me to be MTR'd, but she didn't know what would become of it. So I never actually received that correspondence from her.
So you waited 3 years to get a phone call from the probation department?
No, sir. I didn't necessarily wait 3 years. I knew it was something that I had to handle, and that's why I hired an attorney.
What is your job with Allstate? What do you do for them, man?
I actually work for Hulu, and I do tier 2 support for Hulu.
Hulu, is that the television channel thing?
Yes, sir.
Oh, gotcha. And do you have children, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
And how many children do you have?
6.
And how old are they? Ranges, I guess.
They are between 14 and 3 months.
Judge, if I may,
Sure.
in reviewing Miss Davis's case notes in her file, she had a scheduled appointment for September 22nd on 2017, which she failed to appear for. And the officer sent her a message via text asking Miss Davis to call her, and we never heard from her again. Just for background.
Ms. Davis, in cause 532079. The court accepts your plea of true to condition number 2 with an explanation. I grant the state's motion to revoke your deferred adjudication probation. I adjudicate you guilty of the offense of theft, $100 to $750. I sentence you to 6 months in the Bexar County Jail, assess a $2,000 fine plus court costs. Credit for time served, time and money to run concurrent. This case to run concurrent with 532080. You report to the Bexar County Jail at 9:00 a.m. on Monday, February 1st, 2021 to serve your jail sentence. Anything further from the state of the defense on Ms. Davis in 532079?
No, Judge.
In cause 532080. This is a first amended motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision. My understanding is this one is also uncontested. Is that correct, defense?
Yes, Your Honor, that is correct.
And Ms. Gross, I assume the allegations are basically the same as on the first one. Is that more or less accurate? Susan, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm looking, Your Honor. That would be correct.
Okay. Ms. Davis, in cause 532080, on the motion to enter, excuse me, the first amended motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision, how do you plead, ma'am? Defense, is this going to be the same plea as last time or a different plea?
It is, Your Honor. It's a plea to true to condition number 2, Your Honor.
Number 2. Ms. Gross, any variation on the theme or the facts of this case basically the same as the last case that you've already represented to us?
Judge, the facts would be the same. This case is also paid off, community service is done, and then the same for the classes, except with this case, she also did complete a theft class as well. And we are also recommending revocation on this case.
Ms. Davis, same recommendation, I'm assuming, state?
Yes, Judge.
And same request, I'm assuming, defense?
Yes, Judge, to terminate her unsatisfactorily or judge it in the alternative if the court would consider a lesser sentence than what the court has ordered in the previous case, Judge.
And this case is based on a probation for the offense of failing to identify while a fugitive with the intent to give false information. State, is that a class A offense, as I think it is?
Judge, I believe it is. If you give me 2 seconds, I can verify.
Defense, do you think that's a class A like I think it is, or do you know something I don't know?
Judge, I do
Judge?
believe.
I'm sorry, Ms. Gross?
Yes, it is a class A.
Okay. State, do you agree with that?
Yes, Judge. I believe that it was. Yes, it is.
And defense, do you agree with that?
Judge, we do agree with that, Judge. We're asking for the court to be lenient on Ms. Davis, Judge. In this case, we're only asking for either terminate her unsatisfactorily or nothing more than a 1-month sentence, Your Honor.
Ms. Davis, in cause 532080. Court accepts your plea of true to condition 2 with an explanation. I grant the state's motion to revoke your deferred adjudication probation. I adjudicate you guilty of the offense of failure to identify while a fugitive with intent to give false information. I sentence you to 6 months in the Bexar County Jail, a $2,000 fine plus court costs, credit for time served, time and money to run concurrent. This case to run concurrent with 532079. Once again, you'll report to the Bexar County Jail at 9:00 a.m. on Monday, February 1st, 2021 to start serving your sentence. Anything further from the state of the defense on Ms. Davis?
Judge, on behalf of the defense, we would ask the court if the court would retain jurisdiction to reconsider the sentence on Ms. Davis. Judge, she did comply with the majority of her requirements. Judge, we just asked, she has a family, and I know her family needs her, so we're asking the court if the court would retain jurisdiction to reconsider.
I've already made all considerations necessary, but thank you for requesting that. Anything further from the state of the defense on Ms. Davis?
No, Judge.